All right, with Don Staniford post-trial or the appellate hearing, what happened today?
Well, it was a very dry appeal hearing. So the original trial was 20 days in front of one judge. So today for the appeal was three judges, just one day. So we're now in the Winking Judge pub, um, lubricating ourselves because it's been a very boring day. The the lawyers have been arguing very dry, complex legal arguments, but in very basic summary, what the three judges now have to go away. They have to deliver a verdict. It could be anywhere between 2 weeks and 6 months before we get a final judgment. But they have to balance corporate reputation, the reputation of this company, this Norwegian company, against the public's right to free speech. So you've got like the scales of justice. You know, this is the Greek goddess of justice, Themis. She's the statue in the outside the court. So we're balancing whether, you know, us, the public, who's more important, the public or the corporation? So we've heard from Joel Backen that, you know, corporations are psychopaths, and we know the people who voted for Christy Clark obviously have some issues, and for Stephen Harper as well. So this is a real key test in Canada. Which is more important, the corporation or the public?
But it's also about the maliciousness of like what you're saying. Like there's this tone and whether it's recklessness or your kind of your honest judgment. So the recklessness argument seems to be the one of the premises that I heard today that the other side was trying to.
Well, there's a double standard here because, you know, if you go back to how the Salmon Farming Kills campaign was launched, it was a riposte. It was a response to the BC salmon farmers' Salmon Facts campaign. And in that campaign, they said that farm salmon is free of contaminants. But I've studied salmon farming for 20 years. I've worked with people like Dr. Michael Easton, and other researchers have shown that farm salmon contains cancer-causing contaminants. So why should the industry be allowed to get away with false facts, mistruths? So, you know, that's how Salmon Farming Kills was launched. So if I'm going to be judged um, and scrutinized for telling the truth, um, what about the industry? Because I think, you know, speaking the truth to power is what activists and campaigners, whether they're environmental campaigners or social justice campaigners, need to do. You know, but we get bullied. This is a chilling effect from a corporation. This is a blatant slap suit, a strategic lawsuit against public participation. So this really is the thin end of the wedge. We need to fight this and speak out against the corporation.